Hey Clashers, you can visit the in-game Legend League ranking and see what the highest ranked players are. For example, as well of the last season. And the question now then is, what are the strategies though those players are playing then? Well, there is the Twitter user CUC Legend League who's actually collecting all of those really interesting data and really interesting strategies. So let's just check out what the top 200 is of the June season. Remember, July season should come out really soon on their site on Twitter, or whatever the name now is of that. I will link you guys down their website. And the question now for us in this video though is, what is the strategies the top 10 are using? Because the top 200, we see Electro Dragons dominate, or at least a lot of people are using them. But what about the top 10? Well, luckily for us, they are having this statistic as well. And this is from the July season, from the last season we just had in Legend League. And one big surprise for me at least was, oh my gosh, I mean, so many players in the top 10 are playing Lightning Spell. That's crazy to me. Lightning Spell and Electro Titan is one of the most used strategies high up in Legends. And there is as well a really few highly talented Lightning Lalo players as well. There's two strategies in there as well in the top 10 which are only played once within the top 10. And that is one, the Electro Dragon with the Super Minion and Super Wizard Blim. I have, by the way, the guy on this channel where I have kind of like made a small guide out of his attack, so you can very free to check that out. And as well, we have Bernal in the top 10 as well on the rank number 7 seed with the Queen Charge Lado. So overall, a lot of top tier strategies. But again, biggest surprise to me is how many lightnings there are. I think the lightning spell might be the most used spell within the top 10. Or actually, maybe the freezes, but either way, it's pretty crazy. The amount of lightnings which are getting used, it might be the most used. Either way, I thought I would share a couple of attacks of my community clan in this video and kind of try to explain to you guys how to use those strategies even if you're non-professional players. So for example, some of my community clan members are trying to use some of those top strategies, and I thought it would be really interesting to look at their strategies, look at their attacks, and see how they do with one of those. Is it a top 4? I mean, there's 4 strategies within the top 10 and 2 most used strategies. For example, the Zap Lado. How do you use that strategy is the question. Well, first off, let me tell you, all of those strategies we're talking about today, they're linked down below in the description as well. So if you want to pick up any of those, feel free to do so. With the Zap Lado, it is a lot of times for a lot of people really a big question mark maybe if they should pick that up, because Lalo is just so complicated for a lot of players. But I feel like the key thing for this strategy is not the Lalo a lot of times, it's more about the heroes and how much you get and how you can set those heroes up with the lightning spells, because I feel like that's kind of the secret sauce within the strategy. So what you do with the lightning is typically 2 things. You're approaching 2 different things. The first thing is obviously the value you're getting with taking some defenses out. A lot of times you're looking for really important defenses like multi-inferno towers, spell towers, X-bows are important as well, and for example the monolith. Those are really good targets to go for with the lightning. And the second objective, which is not the buildings itself, is like the pathing which you're creating. On this specific attack, he has created a pathing with those lightnings, not only for his heroes walking around the bottom side, but as well for his loons now coming from this top side and going straight into the town hall, with all of those sweepers pointing towards the bottom side. At this point, obviously the town hall is a really big threat to Lalo, but otherwise there's only 2 multi-inferno towers being a big threat at this point. And that is really important to know, because I feel like, I mean, only 2 multi-inferno towers on the back end should be possible to deal with. So overall, a really good plan right here from Fabi with this strategy. You have to admit that Lalo might be not the cleanest overall, with especially the defending queen staying alive for quite some time, but this is kind of what I want to showcase to you within this video, that you don't have to be perfect with those strategies. There's still some room of error, and that's still worth it to pick those strategies up. Even though Lalo is not easy to play, you can still do it if you put the time in, if you want to do it. On this one, he's getting the 3-star. You could say it was close. I mean, we just say it's an overkill 3-star, a nice attack from Fabi in our last Clan War League, and that was a really nice attack. But hey, I have another attack, another strategy from the top 10, which now is Queen Charge Lalo. Queen charges right now are maybe one of the hardest things to do on Town Hall 15, because especially if you charge a big part of the base, the Rage Towers is a big problem. We have seen a lot of pros already using their queens through her ability, but if you can control that queen, that is a big step for you for the Town Hall 15 meta and really getting a lot of value. Something else which those strategies have in common for Legend, which I feel like it's really important to note, they always have a really dedicated plan to deal with the Town Hall and with how the Town Hall a lot of times is set up. The Town Hall a lot of times is well protected by ground expos to protect charges, protect hero dives, but every single time those strategies have really good options to deal with the Town Hall and their compartments. Let's just start things off with the Zap Titans. With the Zap Titans, you have a lot of times the option of taking down damage around the Town Hall with a Warden Walk and with some lightnings, and then deal with the Town Hall itself with your Flame Flinger. That's a really common option, and that's a really strong thing on how you can deal with the Town Hall, and you don't have to deal with the damage of the Town Hall, or you don't have to deal with the Town Hall explosion. Next thing is with the Electro Dragon strategy, which was the Super Minion Super Wizard strategy, which I have posted a couple of days ago on this channel, where you just limp the Town Hall and you don't have to worry about the Town Hall itself at all, pretty much. That's always a way to how you can deal with the Town Hall. But now about those two Lalo attacks. First off, Zap Lalo, I'm sorry. A lot of times you're playing either the heroes for the Town Hall or the heroes on the back end, then the Lalo for the Town Hall, where ground expos are not really that threatening. So two options which are where you're quite flexible, I would say, with your approach for the Town Hall. And then Queen Charge Lalo is kind of the same deal. You can charge on the opposite side, like Handfire is doing right now, and a lot of times those sweepers are pointing into the opposite direction, which is giving you a really easy time to do air attacks around the Town Hall side. And since Lalo is so flexible, that's just a super nice way to do it, and especially with Queen Charge Lalo, since you're using a Yeti blimp a lot of times, like I feel like right now it's not that common anymore to use like a Dragon Rider and stuff like that. It's a lot of times like the Yeti blimp, which is more getting used. If you're setting that for the Lalo is going down within seconds, especially with the Rage Tower. With that, you can deal with the Town Hall really nice and easily as well. And I feel like this is a big key nowadays with Town Hall 15, that you have a plan for that Town Hall, because it's just so threatening, not only to your overall attack, but especially to all of your troops with all the power it has. But let's just double check another attack of Fabi, because I have to all of those other strategies. There's so many videos on the channel that I feel like I want to concentrate on those two, with the Queen Charge Lalo and the Zap Lalo. For the Zap Titans and the Electro Dragon attack strategy, I have both videos on this channel. You can obviously check those out. For now though, since we have just had an attack of him doing a far side hero dive, this time he's going for the Town Hall side. So what he's trying to accomplish with the lightnings again, he's doing two things. He's getting the value behind the Town Hall, which is first taking down the Spell Tower and the Monolith, which he already did. And this is creating kinda an entire big dead zone in this core, which means there's not the Clan Castle, but because he has taken down the defense behind the Town Hall, this area is increased. And this is creating a better pathing than for his Lalo. Again, you might remember this base. Depending on how much you're following esports, this base was actually 1-star in the last World Championship, and that's why you might have seen it already as well in your own Clan War League if you're a Town Hall 15 player. Because a lot of people like to copy those bases which successfully defend within the qualifier. And since this was a 1-star, a lot of people like to copy it. On this one though, he really did a good job of creating pathing. Take a look at that now. From the top side around to the 3 o'clock side of this base, you can just deploy all of those loons on those dedicated defenses, and with that the Lalo pathing is perfect. Nothing in the core, the Clan Castle is not a defense, which means that it's not getting targeted, and perfect pathing accomplished. This is such an important thing with the lightnings, and I feel like this is such an important thing where maybe a lot of people are struggling. It's not about the mechanics nowadays anymore in Town Hall 15, it's more about the planning. Mechanics, yes, obviously they matter as well, but the planning is a really important factor. Because as soon as he has created this pathing, his Lalo itself does not need to be perfect anymore because he has the option of really having this huge group of loons perfectly going through the core. On the back end, the Royal Champ to take down the scatter shot, which is really nicely done. And now it's all about the multi-inferno tower war again. He is playing the Yetis inside the siege regime, which I think is kind of funny on this one. But that's kind of what you do in a lot of strategies nowadays, playing Yetis inside the blimp because you're super flexible with all of your different options you have. That's another 3-star. This time it's even a bigger overkill than the first time. And that's kind of the end of this video, sharing with you guys the strategies of the top 10 players. Was there any surprise for you in there? Like, were you surprised maybe by all of the lightning spells inside the top 10? Or were you saying like, nah, I was kind of expecting that the lightning spell might be really strong right now? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and maybe you found really some inspiration with all of those different strategies. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.